And speaking of that time travel and all those things like that, the Billionaires Boys Club and stuff, I don't know if it was the master teacher that I got this knowledge from, but or I know part of it was you. I got it from you, one of your books, because you were saying that there was some technology, extraterrestrial technology, that had to create external forces, like external force to be a makraba and all these other things like these things, technology. But then there was beings that could do these things with their mind and their avatar, because we got a supercomputer in this avatar, and to think about time travel, we got all the components in our supercomputer that they would have in an artificial a machine that they would configure together. I don't care what materials they made.
That's why that my bad for cutting in, but that's why the universe, the beings that want to get avatars, and now that they know about Earth and how developed the human body is based on what the Anunnakis putting their DNA into the bodies, and so they want an avatar. They want to get an avatar from Earth because of the body so developed. See, that was the problem when you go back to when the Goa'uld first started. They took a body from these Ulis, these reptilian beings that were in the Sirius star system. They were Nomos Nagas, being species that had evolved once they got to Sirius. And they took these beings, but their brain was like small, like peanut size. So their brain didn't have the capability to ascend or to do all the things that Lucy was go to the 100% capacity like Lucy could do, right? So they was in search. Then they came up to the next bodies they came out with was the Hindu bodies. Some of them jumped into other bodies, like the feline bodies and other bodies prior to, but the last body they said that could be capable of better than the other bodies that they had, they jumped into the Hindu cause. And that's when they came here. They was in the Hindu cause for a while, but until when they went to Orion, and then they came to Earth. When they came to Earth, they came in Hindu cause. That's why Osiris is green. Ishtar is green. Matter of fact, let me show y'all that while I got y'all here, because I'm going to do a class. Y'all, this is exclusive. This is exclusive.
Okay, right? And while you getting that together, I want to add something to is okay. I think that part of the lesson about this whole scenario and this whole simulation is when they came down here, which we was just all about divine love and stuff like that. And then they put us on this persecution thing. They woken up a sleeping giant, because one of the things that the Anunnaki had fear of was the capabilities of these Atlanteans or these organic people of the land, or whatever you want to call them. Because we just was coming out of hospitality and sharing all that stuff like that. But our scientific mind, I mean, they didn't come to know, like Ye was saying on with gold digger, you ain't messing with no broke nigga. They didn't come to no primitive people. They came to landed here to big cities and buildings and stuff, and we had a civics society that was awesome. So these brains that we got, they're scared of. They was always been the Anunnaki. That's how come they had to put that spell on us. Because if we ever start thinking on we did now, their game is up. And it's a people, these Atlanteans right here have the capability of exceeding those people. Exceeding. Who is the most intelligent person on the planet Earth? The Black American woman. This is a female planet. We came from a parthenogenesis, the first one of us on this planet. And so I just come out of my head and pass them on the way up there with their time machine. Oh, you made a time machine. Hey, that's nice. And I generated and configured all of that stuff with the calculations in my brain.
Yeah, so they came in these avatars that they made had Hindu mix. And they were really with the Watusis, right? We came as Watusis because remember Bible said in the Holy Tablets that these beings, that these Watusis was in Orion, right? And you look at the hair texture, it's the Watusi hair texture, because when we came here as Watusi, we were green first, then we turned dark. So really, Osiris and Ishtar and them, they were all Watusi. All right, so could look at the hair texture, and then I can show you they had, see, like the Hindus had straight hair, but the Watusi were new type of avatar that were mixed with the Anunnakis, and it gave them more of a woollier texture hair. That's like with my mother Isis, that was the avatar that we had. We had them new avatars that were Hindu with the Watusi avatar. So that's when we came here in those avatars, and we were green skinned, like Baba explained to you. And so Osiris and Osiris they had both green skin because of those avatars that we had, right? Those Watusi avatars when we came down from Orion. And the reason why Isis and Osiris got attacked is because Satuk sold them out, because they were trying to stop. They were trying to claim Earth and stop Satuk and stop Ra from coming here to kidnap people and take them to other planets for use them for experiments. And so Satuk Ra was in on when Osiris Avatar got chopped up in 14 pieces. And they really snitched on him. The real snitch was about Haru, because like it was a rule that we had when we came here as Goa'uld, that you couldn't have a baby by mixing with the avatar. You couldn't have a kid with your avatar, because the kid would become the avatar, and the kid will retain the Goa'uld knowledge, but he'll be more of the humanoid types that were here. And he would eventually reveal the information to the humans on what we doing. That's what Ra was about. And then Satuk, right? He go Ra, right? And if you watch that Stargate movie, look at his eyes glowing. Where they get it from? They Baba put this out before they put that out, the Stargate movie. So his eyes glowing, and he looked like the dude Tilk in the damn Stargate movie. But so Ra wanted to kill me. And Satuk wanted to kill me. They wanted to get rid of me because I was going to tell you what I'm telling you now about how they the gods and they just using us. And they knew that it was going to come to this point. We was going to tell that. So when we fought against Satuk, we went off into that area right there. That's a pickup point. That's a vortex in the Sahara Desert. And go ahead.
I found out some more information too on that Atlantis thing too, man. That the what's it called? Where the sun pyramids at? the Sun Pyramid over there in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Right. This is where the Jedi Temple was. Right. It was called a Citadel. Right. Doc tells you in the science of the pyramids, right, about it. But in the science of the pyramids, right, it said a place had it was a training center, right, where Tahuti trained people at, right. And the thing about it, the buildings and everything, you know how we was a part of it, is that it had it's called a quin cants. It looks like a 5 on a dice.
What?
Yeah, the dice, that sign on the dice, that's number 5 on the dice. You have to look at you have to over overview, and it's built like the dice of a 5. It's called a quincunx. A quincunx. It's called quincunx on how they build it, and it's all in the architecture, right? It's like a dot in the middle, right, and four dots on the side, and that's where they get those other symbols from, like the Knights of Templar and everything. But I went and looked. You look at the Jedi Temple on Star Wars; it has.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's got, you see those. There's like 5. It has 5. What's it called? Yeah, 5 poles coming up out of it.
Yeah.
On the top of it. But all like the buildings and stuff and structures, they have that signature on it. It's called a quintunx.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking about Teotihuacan, right?
Yeah, that's Tahuti, right? That's where Tahuti taught, right? But in there, you see Enoch too. You know, because when after the flood, you know what I'm saying, that's when after the flood, that's when Enoch built that pyramid, the balance. Going over in Egypt. Yeah, because like I said, once the planet got tilted, right, it broke off. So part of us was over here and part of us was over there. But Tahuti was over here when he was teaching us the city of the gods. It has the sun and moon pyramids over there in Peru, right?
You're talking about the Citadel, right?
Yeah, he called it Citadel.
That's
they
correct,
have a military, right. It's like military training.
Right.
Right? You look up Citadel, and then they got a college called Citadel dealing with military training, right? But Doc tells you that it was a Citadel. But when you start doing the research, you're gonna find out that's what that was a training camp, a training center for the gods, right? But he introduced you to that word quincunx. It's spelled Quincuncx. You look that up, right? You see that symbol on all the architecture.
That's fire. That's fire. That's
yeah.
Fire. You're gonna have to send me the link to that.
Yeah. So just look up quincunx, right? And you're gonna see that symbol on our military uniforms. The Nazis use it. You know what I'm saying? That was like a signature, right? That pyramid is built like that too, but you only can see it from an aerial point of view.
Aerial view,
right? Right. So when you push it all back together, right? Like the Nasdaq lines, that's what the school of Tahuti. He always told us that was the school of the bird, right? So that was an airport there. There was training there. That's what he was coming in at. But like I said, you got to push all those continents back together, right? And it's going to fit perfectly, right? It's going to fit perfectly, I'm telling you. But that was a training center for us over there with the Pyramid of the Sun.
Shit, not over there,
in
over
South
here.
America.
whole story, but like I got a lot of information on what was going down, and civilization was fire back. It was like it was crazy back then, and the same thing I'm doing now. It's the same thing I was doing then. And I was telling the people, waking them up and breaking them from Satuk's, want to be their God. Satuk wanted them to bow before him and serve them. But me, like me, my father, we were different. We wanted, we was all love. Like we wasn't like untouchable. Like we could go down and mingle with the low people. That's how we were. But Satuk, he was like, don't touch me. You know, like he was all prideful about how he served, he served with an iron fist. We didn't rule with an iron fist. It was all peace and love in the kingdom. Everybody was doing good. It was the most beautifulest thing that I ever seen. Like how everybody had gold. Everybody had gold. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had wealth. It wasn't like we was the only. We had a shitload of it. We had so much of it that everybody in the kingdom had some of it. You know what I'm saying? That's how much wealth that we had in gold. And then the Satuk thing. Satuk said that we were soft, and we were. And plus, he liked that my mother. He wanted to take my mother from my father. That's one reason. The same story as Cain and Abel. Like when Bible talk about that Cain killed Abel to take his sister because he didn't like the other sister. Because Satuk got that's another sister that Nephis was the one that Satuk was supposed to marry, but he didn't want to marry her. He wanted to get Isis because she was the way my mother was. She was like real, like fine, like to them like real fine, like. And everybody was out there. Well, a lot of people was like the guards, like the niggas that was up high. But my mother, she wouldn't let nobody get to her like that though. But Osiris and Ra, she was using Ra so that she can find out his powers. So she ended up getting that because Bible talk about these people having a second name. Everybody got a second name. That second name is the name that's the high name that nobody know. And if you could call them on that name, then you know them. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have a name back in the day that nobody know about. That used to call you back in the day, and that name probably came from a bad reputation or something. But that's like the name that nobody know about. But if they know that name, like somebody walk up to you and they might say Maurice, that mean they know you on a job or something like that. But they say your nickname, Reese or whatever your nickname is, that means that okay, they know you personally. So Bible talk about that. But Isis, if she got a hold of that name, it was a password, and she got a hold of that name, and she was finna get ready to shut Ra down. And Ra found Satuk snitched, and then he set Osiris up when he came back. To make a long story short, I'm gonna go over the story. Gonna be about 2-3 hours long, but I'm gonna go over it on YouTube. I'm just telling y'all about it. You know what I'm saying? I got all these pictures in these. I'm gonna break down all 46 dynasties because it's so many. It's really more than that. They really didn't calculate all the dynasties because the dynasties go back way before the Watusis came with the Twamans. The Twamans was the first dynasty. But when we came to Watusis, see, we come from that bloodline coming down from Norma. Norma was a Watusi. And you go back and look at that papyrus with Norma. Let me see, can I put it up? You'll see he walking with the Watusis. I mean, he walking with the Twaman, right? He was a Watusi. He was tall. That's us, the Orion beings, Orion group beings. Norma. Let me see if I'm spelling his name right. Norma, Egyptian. Let me see, can I find that papyrus for you? Shit, pull right up. It's that one where he walking with the Twa. We already showed it. This right here. And we
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right here, this right here. All right, so you see, Norma was the bloodline of us, the ancient with Osiris. Okay, we actually, it was before this. Norma actually come down from our bloodline. He like the first. They calculate like during 3000 BC, 200 BC. So he like the first dynasty, but he was Watusi, and these people were Twa, and this dude was a Four. See the height difference? I'm gonna blow it up for you so you can see it. Let me save it. Let's save it in here. We'll save it in the heist folder. Yeah, so I'm gonna break all this down, man. All right, so right here, you see that Norma, this Norma right here, he was a Watusi. See how tall he is, see how his beard look, just like Osiris. Right? The Afar can't grow beards. These are the Twa man. So they say that Norma starts the first dynasty, but actually these Twa man and the Sands man was here for the Bantu mixed in, the Bantu people, which is a mix between so like Osiris coming down from the Watusi side, the tall people. We were tall, taller, right? Okay, so let me go back. Now, hold up. Now the story of Tammuz, when we was Tammuz, this right here is another avatar. See all these different avatars, Sarada, Tammuz, but the same being that's coming into but the same voice. If you go back and hear my voice when I was Tammuz, Horus, my voice sound the same. But like the avatars are different because we are just a download. And I'm gonna actually break the whole story down at Tammuz too, or what happened with Enlil. And during that time when we incarnated here. We're gonna break that down too in another tape. Look at him. My grandma in this life has got these were the Watusis. They got the same features. If you look at my grandma, the same eye, the bug eye look. If you look at Slim from Cash Money, he's a Watusi, the Williams. These people were Williams. I can show you. Like, look at this dude right here. He's this dude right here. When I go back, he was an incarnation to me, Anu. He was a incarnation of me to Anu. Anubis was Enki. Murdoch was Tahuti. I'm thinking